My everything is you, Lord. Yeah. Ha-ha. Oh, 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 oh. Everybody say, ah. Say, oh, oh. Say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, yeah, to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. Say, Lord, you are, you're my everything. Say, I call you Jireh. You're my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. I call you Jireh. You're my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are.
And it's all starting again. We have ended 10 months in the year 2024. We started the 11th, going through to the 12th and the end of the year. But once we're in the 11th and the very first Saturday of November 2024, I will, on behalf of my production crew and BWF solicitors, welcome you to the community and the law. How can you get an evisa if your indefinite leave to remain is stamped in your passport? The answer is up next in our discussion on the community and the law, brought to you by BWF solicitors.
Hello. Yeah, you're good. Hello. There are several questions in the community when it comes to the law, especially with the immigration matters. That is why I'm inviting you to join us on the program, The Community and the Law, live on BWTV and brought to you by BWF Solicitors, our trusted partners when it comes to the law. We are going to have a very massive discussion on some of the issues of immigration matters that bother you. And they have the opportunity to meet you live on the program to explain to you all the updates that have come from the Home Office and also address your questions and concerns that you might have when it comes to the law. The Community and the Law is brought to you every Saturday between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. UK time. We're live on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. At BWF Solicitors, at BWTV, and of course, we urge you to share the program and invite others to join us. Remember, it's at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every Saturday, live on BWTV. You have your questions. There are answers. So join us, learn, and empower yourself on the program, The Community and the Law. So pick up the phone and dial 0208 493 7345, or you can send a text 07950 422 780. It's The Community and the Law. My name is Oreku Frimpong, and I am your host.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner. With over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Welcome to another edition of the Community and the Law. My name is Oreku Frimpong, and between now and 6 o'clock GMT, we're going to have an interesting discussion on the evisa conversation we have had over the past couple of weeks. The Home Office has introduced the situation where from the 31st of December 2024, the biometric cards that we have would no longer work, and they are migrating everybody onto the evisa portal. And the whole situation is that you, those who fall under that, you need to open an evisa account. And how do we do that? How do we go about that? We've gone through some practical steps as to how to create and open up your evisa account. How do we link existing visas and vignettes to that? And today we're looking at another situation that you may find yourself in, where you have your indefinite leave to remain stamped in your passport, and how you would want to get that done. Expert advice is going to be given you this afternoon, and I believe you will benefit from that. So call somebody and let them all know that we are live on BWTV at BWF Solicitors Facebook, BWF Solicitors YouTube, BWTV Facebook and YouTube, as well as all social media platforms. And I am delighted to say that as we have just started, so many of you have joined us. Now we want to recognize Nanechi Ahine, who was the very first, when I checked, he was the very first person to have logged on. Nanechi Ahine, thank you so very much. Ridoy Freelancer, you are here with us. Sandra Opoku Jumfuo, Sandy, how are you? Kusia Sante is here. Hayford Kwame Usu, Jerry Yao, Habakkuk Hima is here. You're watching with us. Aziz Osman, I see you as well. And a host of others. And I want you to do one thing for me. When you log on and you join us, announce yourself in the comment section down below, and also invite others to come in. Then pick up the link and share with others. If it's their first time coming here, is a wonderful family. We meet every Sunday Saturday afternoon between 4 and 6 p.m. GMT. And what we do is to have that discussion, lovely discussion that empowers you to be able to migrate all the things and do things when it comes to your immigration matters. That's what I want to mean. So if you just joined us and if you joined us for the very first time, like the page, click on the subscription button and that you would be notified whenever there is new content on the platform. This afternoon, as usual, I am coming your way courtesy of BWF Solicitors, our trusted partners when it comes to the law. They deal with all issues law and they particularly help us with our immigration matters. So when you want to file an application, when you want to go for an appeal, when you want to challenge certain decisions that the Home Office has made, and all the other bits of it, trust BWF Solicitors to help you do that. They are on the fourth floor of the other house, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters, North London. Call them Monday to Friday between 9:30 in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening. The telephone number is 0208 493 7340. 0208 493 7340. They have an office in Ghana, and you can contact that office on 055 589 5959 in Ghana. 055 589 5959. For emergency situations worldwide, you can send a text, you can send a WhatsApp message, or you can call 0044 77 127 61884. 044 77 127 61884. That's BWF Solicitors for you. Now, with that, let me quickly introduce my resource person and guest this afternoon. And he is lawyer Charles Asma from the stables of BWF Solicitors. And he, as usual, when he comes in, takes us through all the practical steps of the things that we want to learn. And this afternoon, he's leading us in a discussion as to what to do when your indefinite leave is stamped in your passport and how it relates to the e-visa conundrum we are talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome lawyer Charles Asma. Uncle Charles, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be joining, Brakuku.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we're so keen. Remember, we are in the season where we're linking our passports, our BRPs to e-visas. And I always say, when you come in, you teach us like it's a classroom. So we're going to go through that and we're going to answer that question. So just relax. I'll do a bit of the updates. We'll come back and get into that discussion. So, ladies and gentlemen, viewers out there, this is lawyer Charles Asma, and he's going to help us this afternoon. Now, let's pick up a few of the updates that we have for the week. First, I'll start with a very satisfied customer who has given us a review online, and this person is so satisfied with the service they enjoyed from BWF Solicitors, and they are telling the whole world how satisfied they are. We will be picking up that and saying that. Michael, thank you for saying that. Michael says, I'm very grateful for the kind of professional job you are doing, and I will happily recommend you to anyone who needs help. I've really appreciated your achievements, and I'll be proud to introduce you to a friend, family members, and anyone I know to contact you for a better job. Thank you, and God bless you. Uncle Charles, I think for this I will get a little reaction from you because, yes, you are part of the family. Yourself, lawyer Eunice, Uncle Ben, Annie, and all the other members of the BWF Solicitors family. You're doing a very good job. And this gratitude expressed here is something worth the while, isn't it?
It is. So what we seek to do is to ensure that we continue to sustain the interest of our clientele, the community, and making sure that at least where we have to even go the extra mile to enhance that expectation and satisfaction, we do so. So it's part of our operations and processes to ensure that we take feedback from customers. And this is one feedback we received from a very happy customer. And this is what we do daily. And once we see this um, in the public domain that somebody is so happy, we want to share with others that indeed this is what people are saying about what we do as a firm of community lawyers. And so once you come in, definitely your needs will be met and you'll be in line to give a testimony. So this is testimony time.
Okay, well, Charles, thank you very much. And it's something I don't normally do, but I realized that somebody just bumped into our phone line in the studio, 0208-493-7345. Now, let me find out what it is. It might be one of those recommendations. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Somebody just gave me this number to call for a solicitor.
Oh, good. Say thank you to that person because, yes, you've come to the right place. This is BWF Solicitors. We're live on TV. What I'll do is let me give you this number so you call after the program or between Monday and Friday. Then you can book appointment and see them. They will really satisfy whatever query you have. So if you have a pen and a paper to hand, I'll give you the office telephone number.
Yeah.
At 0208
yeah.
493
493 yeah
7340.
7340.
Okay. Yeah. If you call now, you won't get anybody picking up. But when we are done, I'll give you another mobile number. You have two mobile numbers, so you can call either of them. Are you ready for the first one? I'll give you our resource person for this afternoon's number, Lawyer Charles Asma, 07947.
075.
No, 07947.
9947.
Yeah, so 07947. Have you got that one?
Yes, I got that. Yeah.
63.
63. Yeah.
60.
60. Yeah.
37.
37. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's one. And in all emergency situations, you can call 077
yeah
127
127 yeah
61
61 yeah
884. Okay.
So what's the best time to call?
I am going to invite you to join us on the program. We're having a live program, the community and the law, and we're discussing a very interesting topic. So you can log on to YouTube and look for BWF Solicitors, and you see us live. Now, when we finish with the program, we'll finish at 6 o'clock. You can call either of the numbers I've given you.
All right. Thank you very much.
So when you log on and you join us, please identify yourself so I can welcome you again.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Uncle Charles, yes, I think I suspected it right, that somebody has made a recommendation as we were talking about one, and I've given numbers out. It tells of the good work you guys are doing, isn't it?
It is, and it's a pleasure to know that we are not only touching lives, but we are also solving problems. So thank you to the community and the many people who continue to refer us to others. Together, we make everybody happy.
Thank you very much. And as Michael Ohiasidu said, very grateful for the kind of professional jobs you guys do, and he has really appreciated that. So yes, if you enjoy it, if you like it, if you go and you get the satisfaction, let others know as well. Now let's look at our nugget for this afternoon. And in fact, it came out earlier in the week. The Employment Tribunal says that an insult concerning a colleague's baldness, I hope you're not talking about me, could be considered harassment relating to sex. Under Section 26(1) EQA, harassment related to sex occurs where person A engages in unwanted conduct related to sex, and that conduct has the purpose or effect of violating the dignity of another person, B, or creating an intimidating, hostile, degrading, humiliating, or offensive environment for person B. In the tribunal's view, there was a connection between the word bald and the protected characteristic of sex, since baldness was much more prevalent in men than in women. It deemed the remark inherently related to sex. Last one. So if somebody tells me at my workplace that Oreku, you are bald, look at his bald head, look at his forehead so shining and all that, in the law or in the eye of the law, is it considered as an insult?
Right. Thank you very much. So it's not the word insult that matters, but harassment, if it is, that actually takes the person to employment tribunal. So the context is whether the person is subjected to harassment or not
Mhm.
within the context of the Equality Act 2010, Section 6, Subsection 1 specifically. If producer is available to assist, producer, if you could share with us the Equality Act 2010, if possible, and also the case law in question that brought about the change in the law. The case of British Bank Manufacturing and a thing, if you have it to share with us, please. Yes, so this is the Equality Act 2010.
Mhm.
I always prefer to go through the conversations within the context of the law. And that is what we always do when we come on the platform to share with the community. So if you look at section 26, so please scroll down to section 26. So just 26, 26. Yes, 26, the word is harassment. So
Yeah.
click on that, please, for us. Right. So 26 1. If you can make it clearer, maybe zoom out. Oh, in
No,
rather.
zoom in.
Okay, thank you. In and out, it's quite confusing. All right. Yeah. So now it's clear. Yeah, please help us.
Okay, so harassment. One says a person A harasses another B if A A engages in unwanted conduct related to a relevant protected characteristic, and B, the conduct has the purpose or effect of one, violating B's dignity, or two, creating an intimidating, hostile, degrading, humiliating, or offensive environment
Full
for
stop.
B.
Good. Awesome. Now let's highlight the key word because that is what the lawyer, the judge will open up to see whether the person has been harassed or not. So
Mhm.
A against B. You ask a simple question. Somebody tells you, look at your shiny head. Look at this, look at that, you bored man. Question is, how will you feel? It depends on where, but if the person told you this in public, how will you feel? Will you feel uncomfortable or comfortable?
Well, generally, yes, I'm comfortable because it's a characteristic that puts me in some uncomfortable situation, really.
Full stop. So if you look at 26I, A, B, and the B, I, and II, where do you fit yourself with that um, situation the person put you in?
It could be both. Yes, my dignity could be affected.
No, no.
It could
Look at
create
II,
an
II,
environment where I
II,
find myself intimidated.
II. Good. So it's intimidating, isn't it?
Hmm.
And the word there is degrading, isn't it?
Yes.
It could be humiliating. And depending on where you are, it could be offensive. So
Yeah.
you can see that. So if somebody told you that and how you felt, you can say that the person has engaged 26I, B, II because the person has made you feel uncomfortable. The person has
Yeah.
humiliated you. Then you go to I. Then depending on, imagine the person said that in the presence of your I mean, business colleagues or whatever, whatever. I don't want to go into other stuff, but whatever, whatever. You definitely feel that your dignity has been taken away from you, right? You feel
Mm-hmm.
like you are no longer a man. Oh my God, why will you tell me this in front of my special person? So that will fall under BI, violating your dignity, isn't it? Making you feel little. Now, again, it depends on how you feel about that situation. Some of us with baldness, we feel that if we had our way, we can grow our own hair back, but we have no choice, so we leave it. And all the time, we have to make sure that it evens out. So that is not a very healthy, comfortable situation, but we have to live with it. And therefore, if you are being told in the face that this is what you are going through, you feel that your dignity is being taken away from you, depending on where you are told. And therefore, B can be engaged. Now, it says that A says this to B. And so, what is the person do? The person is engaging in unwanted conduct. And what did the person do? Speaking against somebody, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
About the person's badness.
Yeah.
And the question is this conduct, speaking about badness, is it related to this person's protected characteristic? And that is where the meat is. So the law says that if you say things that go to the core of a protected characteristic, then the person feels unhappy, feels humiliated, feels denigrated, then that will be termed harassment. And so, what are the protected characteristics? So, within the law says that there are 9 protected characteristics. So, you
Mm-hmm.
have the person's sex, the person's age, the person's race, the person's sexual orientation, the person's religion, and all that put together, including disability, all this form part of those protected characteristics. In that,
Okay.
if anybody fits within those 9 range, or then you have to make sure that whatever you say does not go against that particular characteristic. Otherwise, the person can say that because you said this against me and I fit myself within this characteristic, you have harassed me because what you said has made me uncomfortable. So the question is, if you tell somebody that the person is bald headed and the person feels humiliated because you told the person in public or in the
Mm-hmm.
front presence of people that he so much respects, then the person would obviously feel uncomfortable and feel that you have humiliated them. And the person will have to check whether this is to do with any of the 9 protected characteristics.
Okay.
So now let's go to the case law. Producer, if you are there, you can help us. The law that went to the employment tribunal, the case that went to the employment tribunal. Please help us. And we can, yes. So, Bragoku, this is a case. And if you look at the site, the date, when did this take place? When was the hearing?
Hearing was on the 28th of November 2023.
How many
That's
months
barely a
ago?
year ago.
Exactly. So this is a case that went. If you go up a bit for me, yeah, yeah, up. Keep going. Yeah, there. Employment Appeal Tribunal, and the case was heard November. Now, before the judge, the matter concluded that because of, we are not going to go through the entire story because of the time, but what the person said was that somebody is bald headed, and because of that, the person felt intimidated, the person felt humiliated, and the court has to determine whether that expression causes harassment for this person within the meaning of section 26 subsection 1 a b. And the court concluded that if because this person who felt uncomfortable, because this person who is bald headed is a male person, we can conclude that because this situation affects, or this condition affects men in general, the person who made the statement cannot be talking about a woman. And therefore, it is not a case that if it was a woman, it wouldn't be an issue. It is just a man, and so the person's sex as a male has been endangered. And so the person who made the statement, person A, and the uncomfortable statement made about the person's head has made the person feel uncomfortable, denigrated, and humiliated. And so there is harassment. And the court concluded. So go
Okay.
back to the nugget. So the court has now concluded that if you call somebody that the person is bald-headed or the person has baldness, whatever, we are Sakura, we say, Shawa Pimpim Papa, all these things. Then the person can say that because I'm a male, that's why you are saying this to me. And because of this, I feel uncomfortable. And now I can't even go in the midst of my friends, whom always thought that because I wear wig, I'm okay. And now you have betrayed me. And so you see, you have humiliated me and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm taking you to court under Section 26(1) of the Equality Act. And then you win within the ruling that has come out.
So this is what you get when you relate to BWF solicitors. They explain the laws and tell you what the bases are and where you stand with the law. So if you have any questions, you can text us on 07399208468. Send WhatsApp to the same number, 07399208468. And we'll just pass the question on to the lawyers for them to help us. So remember, the Employment Tribunal says that an insult concerning a colleague's baldness could be considered harassment relating to sex. So be careful what you say. The protected characteristics a lawyer outlined, that about 9 of them, when you are having a conversation, any interaction with your colleagues, especially at work, be careful. You don't make anybody or your colleague feel uncomfortable, humiliated, and feel that they are being harassed one way or the other. It's the community and the law, and thank you for sticking around. I have a question I'll be posing around this, so keep notes, and later on I'll bring that one up. But we're taking a short break and a quick one, then we come to look at the topic for discussion, how you can get your evisa if your indefinite leave to remain is stamped in your passport. Do you know how to do it? I don't think you do. Even if you do, there's more room for further experience and knowledge. We'll be right back.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contestant and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner. With over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Thank you very much for sticking around and welcome back to the program, The Community, and the Law brought to you by BWF Solicitors. Now, we are with our resource person, guest, and a brother from BWF Solicitors discussing how we can get e-visas if indefinite leave to remain was stamped in our passport. E-visa. I know you know, but let me get to the basic. What is that? Why are we talking about electronic visas? What's going to happen to the biometric cards that we have, or the ones that are stamped in our passports? What's going to happen to that? And we hear that there's a deadline, the 31st of December 2024, all the biometric cards would expire. And then what happens? Beyond that, can't we do anything with that? Would there be a grace period like they did with the EU settlement scheme and the rest of it? Let us Osman. Um, the questions are many, but I know you can help us unpick them one after the other. E-visa and where we are with it.
Thank you very much. So the conversation today needs little clarifying so that we can get a context. The focus is e-visa, but it's not just e-visa. So the question is, if I have my indefinite leave to remain in my passport and with e-visa coming up, what can I do? What can I do? So, can I get e-visa? Can I not get e-visa? What do I do? So the context of e-visa is that from the 1st of January 2025, there will be
Mhm.
no more valid card for people to hold when traveling to and from UK. So that is one point.
Mhm.
Why is the government decided to do that? Government feels that it cost money so much, and again, it lends itself to tampering and abuse when these cards are continuously in use. And with emergence of digitalization, technology, and making sure that businesses are able to create synchronization of activities and processes with people's information, it will get to a point where there will be no need for people to carry the card. Or, for example, you've traveled, your card is misplaced, or you've lost it for whatever reason, you can't have your card. How do you travel back? All these have come to create this policy objective that there's no need for people to hold a physical visa paper or card, where everything can be put online so that wherever they are in the world, with their date of birth and their details, they can access their visa. And so it is convenient, it is cheaper, economical, and also avoid the danger of people cloning people's card to use. So 1st of January 2025, no more card. So if there will be no more card, the government is saying that everybody should be able to link their visa to the details or the card they have. So once you sign up for the e-visa account, you take a picture or you scan the card. The card has a chip, and the chip is the bit that contains your biometric data, your fingerprint, and your facials, your eyeball, and all that. And these are put together that identifies who you are. So with this, the system is able to create a platform that holds your visa, how long it expires, and how often you can use, in other words, to travel to and from the UK. And I think this is a good thing. The
Mhm.
danger is for those who do not have the card, because not everybody has got the card, because some people had their indefinite leave to remain in the UK, for example, in their passport. It was stamped in the passport or placed in the passport as a vignet. And as a result, they have always used it. So if the person doesn't have a card, that means they have not enrolled their biometrics. If you haven't enrolled their biometric data, what it means is that you cannot create an e-visa because e means electronic. So if you don't have your electronic data already captured, then you cannot have the visa created for you. So if now the government says you cannot apply for card. So if I can't apply for card from October and we are now in November, so if I can't apply for card and I don't have a biometric data, how do I get an e-visa or electronic visa since
Mhm.
I cannot have my data now captured?
Okay.
What do I do? And that is the essence of today's conversation. We try to make these conversations practical, relevant, and timely so that people can relate to it and make
Laura, just hold your thoughts there. Can I get this clarification that if my visa is stamped in my passport, then it means that I do not have a card that I'm using, that biometric card that people go to the post office and list, apply for it, and it comes through. So when I have my indefinite in my passport, that means I don't have a card. Does that mean? Does it mean that I do not have a card when I have that
yes,
in my passport?
yes, it means you do not have it, but you have to say that after I had that, I applied for a card. But if the person had it in the passport and has not applied for what we call no time limit application and getting a card, then
Mhm.
the person is definitely without biometric card.
Okay. Um, does it put the person in any disadvantageous situation at all, or it doesn't matter? Because once you have that, it's on record.
It matters a lot, and the person is put in a disadvantageous position. And
Okay.
this is the context. Producer, if you're available, share with us the Virginia or the indefinite leave to remain in the passport and also the card that we are talking about. We are going to then juxtapose the two to make sense of this conversation.
Okay. Okay.
All
So
right, yes. So
you're talking about one is a card and one is a vignette or a stamp in the passport, isn't it?
yeah, the stamp in the passport. So if producer was able to get that resource, fantastic. Thank you so much. You always deliver, producer. Thank you. So yeah, this one. Brakuku, what do you see here?
So there's a number or two numbers on the top, I should say. Then it says giving leave to remain in the United Kingdom for an indefinite period and is signed by somebody on behalf of the Secretary of State Home Office. And there's a date and there is a reference number at the bottom as well.
When was this visa given?
It says 18th of the 11th, 1999.
And what sort of visa is this?
It says given leave to remain in the United Kingdom for an indefinite period. So I assume that this is indefinite leave to remain, isn't it?
Very good. And you can see that this indefinite leave to remain is not the usual card.
Mm-hmm.
And because in 1999, they were not giving cards.
Right.
In 1999, 1985, all those years up until recently, 2015, 2014, when the card policy was rolled out, people were giving things like this. And there's also one that is a triangle, and
Mm-hmm.
inside you see IND, indefinitely, indefinite. So this is mostly what people had, and this will be in your passport.
Okay.
So whenever you travel, because you have indefinite leave to remain in the UK, you go, you come without any restriction. Now
Okay.
the government says that everybody should have a card. So the producer will show us the card.
Okay. So
Right.
the card was that pinky card with two sides, one side showing the type of settlement you have, and the other is also showing your picture and all the other bits of details. I think we have it there in the second box there. This one
Yes.
says expires 31st of December 2024. Place and date of issue UK 26th of May 2021. Type of settlement is in type of permit, sorry, in settlement remarks indefinite leave to remain lawyer.
Yes. So you can see that these are both valid. The other
Mhm.
person had it 1999 and it's still valid because it says indefinite. Indefinite means it cannot expire. This
Okay.
one is indefinite, but it says it will expire 31st of December 2024. Is this the visa that will expire or the card holding the visa that will expire? Which one?
Um,
It is the card,
it
isn't it?
to the person who hasn't seen this before, it might seem that the visa is expiring the 31st of December 2024. But in the remark segment, it says indefinite leave to remain. And from your explanation, it means that if you are giving this remark, it means that your leave does not expire. You can remain here for as long as you want to be.
Yes, so you can see that the container holding the visa expires because it is issued up to a period. So the
Mhm.
card will be given to you, and once the card expires, you can renew the card. So
Yeah.
now we are saying that no cards can be renewed from 31st of December 2024. So what happens to all the cards that are expiring 31st of December 2024? What happens? The government says that all cards, because they already have the biometric data on the system, they are going to convert it to an e-visa so that you don't always have to spend money and time renewing the card. That's good policy, isn't it?
Yep.
But what happens to those who don't have the card, like the one on the right? If you don't have the card, then
Mhm.
how do you convert it to e-visa? Because you've never had your biometric data enrolled. And that is what we are saying today, that if yours is like that, you are not going to get an e-visa. So what should you do? Meanwhile, 35 by 31st of December, you cannot use it to travel and you cannot use it to get a job and so many other things you cannot do. What it means is such people must, as a matter of urgency, apply for naturalization, apply to for nationality so that because that's the option left at the moment for them unless the government comes up with a new policy or new support for those people. Otherwise, the only option you have is to get your nationality status and apply for a British passport so that you wouldn't need a card at all, but rather travel with your British passport. So, the topic for today is your leave to remain is like the one we showed on the right. It's a stamp in the passport.
Mhm.
Can I still go ahead with e-visa? The answer is no. If I can't go ahead with e-visa, why? It is so because there is no more card for those people because the window closed in October. So what do I do? It means you cannot get an e-visa because no data enrollment can will be given to you.
Mhm.
Naturalization is the way forward. So I'm going to talk, or we're going to talk.
If I from 31st of October, yes, we understand. The government has said, I think last week we mentioned that from the 31st of October, we are not going to be issued with any BRP card. It has that's done because we are in November and now. Um, what if I had an application in there that had not been granted or my card had not come, and we are in November? Do I have to wait? Or the caveat has caught me up and they won't issue me with a card, but rather probably go to tell me that I should go and apply for indefinite leave to remain. Is that what is going to happen?
That is contemplation at the moment because it wouldn't make sense for government to issue a card to somebody on 30th of October, December, with
Mhm.
1 day to expire. It wouldn't make sense at all. And I
Mhm.
want to believe that because the government has said that there will be no more card applications from a particular date, October, going, especially replacement. If I cannot replace it, why will you issue me with one which is expiring soon?
Mhm.
So even if it is issued to you before 31st of December, it's opportunity to use it to create the evisa
Evisa
account.
account.
However, after that period, I want to believe that all those people, and please don't quote me here. I said, I want to believe. So this is my personal thinking. I'm thinking aloud. So don't hold me to account. What I'm saying that I believe that maybe the government may say that from 1st of January, all the people who have enrolled their biometrics and are waiting for their visas, once the visa is issued and the letter given to them, maybe they will not be given card at all, rather automatic e-visa. Maybe, so that everything will be up in the air for them. We don't know what's going to happen, but it appears that this is going to be the only practical approach the government will pursue.
So, does everybody who is not a national, a British national, so to speak, does everybody in that category have to have an e-visa account?
So if you are not a national, what it means is you are an
You have a
EU
limited
national,
leave to remain in this country. Yeah.
you are an EU national or
Mhm.
a foreigner from other countries. Then you have a visa, i.e., indefinite or limited.
Mhm.
And all those people who have applied from 2015 were given a card.
Okay.
And all those who had before 2015 were mostly given the Virginia in the passport, which they were told to convert to card, and most people have not done it. And I tell you what, I was going to treat a different topic, and yesterday a client came. After consultation, the person said that, oh, I haven't heard that this is what's going to happen. And I said, oh, we've been preaching this, preaching this, preaching this every week. And she says, I haven't heard it. You have to say more about it. You have to educate. I said, well, people know. Unfortunately, there are a few others who have not even heard. And the thing is that the person was given this Virginia in the passport in 1985 and has been traveling. And as I speak to you, the person has a ticket to travel next month. But then, once they travel, they are coming in January and they will not even be able to return because they don't have the card to do the e-visa and they
Mhm.
cannot apply for a replacement. So I said, I know what, I'm going to put on hold the topic intended for today and to treat a new one. So I just said, I'm going to treat this topic to help the masses who are not sure because they have indefinite in their passport, thinking that this e-visa announcement has nothing to do with them. Please, let's all take note and let's send a message around and across. Let the people know that if you have indefinite leave to remain stamp in your passport and you don't do anything about it and you travel and you are returning after 31st December, you will end up having problems to return because embassies have now been told that the government is changing approach and therefore they should now be looking for e-visa and not the card. So even those who have cards are in trouble. How much more you who has
Who does
no
not have a card? Yeah. Okay. So, we're looking at a situation where I've got indefinite in my passport. I would want to travel and probably come after the 1st of January 2025. What do you do? Law is saying that you need to apply for your settlement. How do you do that? How do you go about it? If you have any other question, stick around. I'm going to take a break. Get yourselves ready. And when we come back, we'll get into the practical application you can put in so you don't go to the other side or the wrong side of the law after the 1st of January 2025. We'll be right back.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner. With over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Welcome back and thank you for sticking around. How can I get my e-visa if my indefinite leave to remain is stamped in my passport? Lawyer Charles Asma, by courtesy of BWF Solicitors, is helping us into that. And if you just joined us, you haven't missed too much of the fine details. But what we have said is that if you do not have a card or when you have indefinite leave to remain in your passport, then it means that there may be only one option available to you, and that's what we're going to look at. So stick around. Kingston Diaz, you're watching with us. Thank you very much. Tilly, thanks for doing that. Abna Obiniwa Asantewa Papebi, you're also with us. Penelope Pinzo, Abigail Mensa, Sandra Fraser, thank you very much. Sandra Fraser is our employee of the month from BWF Solicitors. Hard work and, of course, the tenacity to promote the brand has been recognized. And this month, she has been adjudged the employee of the month, BWF Solicitors. Daniela Chamens, good evening, everyone. You say Kevin Asamoah is here. Ed Kojo Buako, David Blake, Paroxilas, you're here with us. Kwiku Isako, Lydia Biousu, you're watching with us. Charles Eyimampofo, Queensland Stone Girl is watching. We have lovely Bernice, you're watching with us. Benatete, you're watching. Christiana Santi, you're watching. Harriet Maunyo Ijame, you're here. Abigail Jolly, Felicia Diamwa, Inshaba Kwame Duse Poku, Nanaya, Matthias Frimpon, Habibata, Hiru, Fiewusu, Millicent, Nyamiche Arthur, Gerard Agbert, Godwin Namuzu Suta. Thank you very much. William Champo Akolo, Omar Saniyani, Ritik Raj, EJ Peter, you're watching Parko, Esther J. Amos, Abibi Wumpini Adam, Kweku Boating Frimpong, Michael Keamoa, Thelma Dapa, Edmond Dapa, Manaf Abdul Rahman. I've seen all of you there. Award Intra, Georgina PJ, Robert Boating, Kwame Boachi, Sandra Fraser. Yes, I've seen you again. And Abapa Efia, Jikumwa, Edmond J. Sapon, and Bubbling. Yes, all of you, I've seen you both on Facebook and YouTube. We're live on both platforms at BWF Solicitors, at BWTV. And as I said, BWF Solicitors is proud to be associated with this program, Disposers, and they produce a program as well. And we come your way every Saturday between 4 and 6 p.m. GMT. Layatas Asma is our resource person. Layasma, now, we understand we would have to move beyond having the vignette in our passports. You have given us the option of applying for a different category. What is that, and how do we do it?
Thank you very much, Brakuku. So we now know that if up till today, the 2nd of November 2024, you still have a stamp in the passport as your indefinite leave to remain, there's no way you can apply for a card. It's too late. And if you can't apply for a card, you cannot have an e-visa account created. And so you are out on e-visa. What it means is if you don't do anything about this, you travel, you can't return to the UK. No excuse. So what can you do? Well, unless the government is going to make an alternative arrangement for those people, the only option left to those people is to apply for naturalization so that it can be issued with citizenship certificate. And on that basis, you can apply for British passport to travel to and fro. So naturalization application for those people is that you have to show that you have been living in the UK at least 5 years prior to the date of your application. Somebody who has indefinite leave to remain up to this point, they have already ticked the first box of holding it for 1 year, depending on the circumstance. So, how do you prove that you qualify for naturalization? Even though the conversation is not naturalization per se, the question is such that it is pricking the mind of those people who don't have biometric and are holding the visa in the passport to apply for naturalization. So, the first thing is to make an application ensuring that you meet the criteria under Section 6 of the British Nationality Act 1981. And here you are looking at Schedule 1, which tells the things the person should have. One, you must have the visa, which is indefinite, and you have it. Two, you must show that you have written the Life in the UK test and passed. And somebody who is left with only 2 months, they have to quickly organize themselves and write the exams, provided they are exempted.
Mhm.
If they are exempted, then they don't
Now,
have to worry about.
if you say provided they are exempted, who is exempted from the that test?
So the exemption will apply to people whose age is 65 or over. So if you are 65 or over, you are exempted from writing the exam. If you have any form of disability that affects your ability to write and pass exam, then that will also be an exemption. However, such disability should be certified by a medical practitioner. So your
Okay.
GP will have to endorse it, complete a form for exemption given to you by the Home Office. Once you make the application, you get the exemption paperwork for your GP to complete and stamp it to show that because of XYZ, there's no way. And it has to be visible disability. So mainly visible disabilities, we're talking about hearing impairment or visual impairment and so on and so forth. But if you're mainly going through stress and anxiety, and that is affecting your ability to write exams, then you have to have other means of proof. For example, letters from the school or the tutors helping and preparing you for the exam. They can put together a report to say that you have been learning and yet you are not able to follow or understand what's going on because of your learning difficulty. And if you have a learning difficulty attested or if it's diagnosed, that would be great. But the examiner or the tutor should be able to put together a report based on the experience that they have teaching you. And this will go towards that. And your GP will confirm that by completing the medical waiver form. So once you are exempted, you don't have to write the English language and you don't have to write the life in the UK. If you are not, you must have it done. You've got the certificate uh, of English and life in the UK. The next thing is to show that over the last 12 months, up to the date of the application, you have not been absent from the UK for 90 days cumulatively. So all the absences you've made in the last 12 months should not be more than 90 days, which is 3 months. If it's more than that, you have to wait. The next is in the last 5 years, you have not been absent from the UK for more than 450 days. 450 days. And again, that is for those whose is on the standard naturalization application. The other ones whose may be less than 450 days are people whose spouses were British citizens and they acquired their settlement through their relationship as spouse. But if somebody had it as spouse, they would have gone through the process to naturalize or to get a card anyway, and therefore, but it's also possible. So if the original in the stamp you acquired it through your spouse, then you can only show that you've been absent from the UK, and yours will not have to be 450. So yours will be 277 thereabout, but I have to get the exact number of days for those people and get back to you on that. But for those who are not British spouses, it's 450 days. Then you make the application. Again, you have to show that you don't have any suitability issues, any problem with the
No,
police.
no, sorry. When you say suitability issues, I have indefinite leave to remain. Whatever, again, do I have to meet? Because you've granted me indefinite leave to remain in here. What suitability again?
So indefinite leave to remain means you are not under any immigration control.
Yeah.
However, you are a foreigner. And
Okay.
therefore, if you are going to be considered to become a citizen of United Kingdom, they have to check whether your character is fit for purpose and
Okay.
that not against the public good. And that's the suitability consideration under
Okay.
Part 9 of the immigration rules. One being that you don't owe IHS or in NHS um, treatment cost. But if you have indefinitely to remain, then that will not apply to you because you have NHS free treatment anyway. But then it might be that you have gotten to the wrong side of the law and you have been to court and you have had cost award against you and you haven't paid. That can go against you on suitability, even if you have indefinite leave to remain. You have been convicted of criminal offense. That can be a suitability issue, and so many other things that can trigger suitability depending on what the nature of it. So that is what we mean by suitability. So you have to then declare or disclose if there is anything like that for them to consider. Once you go through the checklist and you tick all the boxes, you put in your application, you will then receive a letter to confirm that you have been approved. And once the naturalization application is approved, you'll be given time to go for your ceremony at the council, particularly the borough council. Then you will get your certificate from there, having sworn before the king that you be a good citizen of Great Britain and that you follow all the rules and be allegiance to the
Okay.
country. You do all that and you get your registration certificate. That very day, you can apply for passport. Then you know that you are covered fully, and whatever happens with e-visa, you wouldn't have to worry
You have to
about.
worry about. Okay. So lawyer, does it mean that I have put in the application, it hasn't come, and there's no decision made on that for me to go for my ceremony and the rest of it, so I become a full British citizen? Does it mean that up until that time I would not be able to travel? Because if my return falls after the 31st of December 2024, I won't be able to enter the UK. Does it mean if I have put in an application like that, I don't have to travel?
Yes, it will be risky to try because going in, you don't have a problem, but returning, the immigration officer at that point will ask you, what is your leave in the UK? You give them the passport with a visa in it, and they will say, "No, where is your e-visa?" And at
Okay.
that point, they are not going to take this from you. Because even those with card, they are not taking the card, they are not considering their card. So you are risking it traveling. So the person I spoke to you, I mean, I referred to, even though the person has a ticket to travel, my suggestion is that since you don't have e-visa, returning may be a problem. So work through this. Call your airline, tell them if they can change the date for you, move it forward. Then once you have this, you can travel. So we have to manage that situation. Otherwise, you get there and it'll be difficult to come. At that point, how do you apply to even go through the naturalization process?
Wouldn't they give us any grace period? Because an
Yeah,
application
I
would have been
agree.
put in and
I
the
agree.
decision has not been made.
I agree, but that is an expectation. It's up to the government to fulfill that expectation for us. What if it delays? What if there's no plan B for such people? The earlier the better, because a stitch in time may save you 9 stitches.
Okay. So, folks, if you are in that situation, you have indefinite leave stamped in your passport and you don't have a card. I mean, as we speak now, you can't have a card. So, your option, obviously, is to put in a naturalization application if you have indefinite leave to remain. I'm not talking about those with limited leave to remain, indefinite leave to remain, and it's stamped in your passport and you don't have a card. Please, your option is to put in naturalization application. If you need support with that, BWF Solicitors is so open to help you with that. You can call them and book an appointment and come to see any of the lawyers. Lawyer Charles Osma is here. He would be ready to help you. Call BWF Solicitors on 0208 493 7340 0208 493 7340. If you're outside of Ghana, outside of the UK and in Ghana, I should say, call 055 589 5959. 055 589 5959. And for emergency situations, call 077 127 61884. If you want to reach Lawyer Charles Asma directly, you can call him on 07947 636037. 07947 636037. BWF Solicitors is helping us to do this, and I would recommend that you call on them. Apart from these and many other issues, you can contact them on employment matters. If you want to get a property support, conveyancing, and all that, especially here in the UK and outside of the UK, you can talk to BWF Solicitors. If you have issues of interpretation of the law and you want some guidance, talk to BWF Solicitors. For divorce and marriages and family panel issues, talk to BWF Solicitors. They have over 30 years of experience and practice, and they are able to help you. With skilled migrant applications, talk to BWF Solicitors. If you have issues with your Vista application and you want to know the ins and outs of that so you can get it right, talk to BWF Solicitors. They are ready to help you. Now, earlier on, I mentioned that if somebody said something about you and it's about one of the protected characteristics and you felt insulted, you felt embarrassed, you felt uncomfortable, and all that, the employment tribunal says that it's an insult. And for instance, if you say something to somebody concerning the person's baldness, that could be considered harassment relating to sex. And under Section 26(1) EQA, harassment related to sex occurs where a person engages in unwanted conduct related to sex, and that conduct has the purpose or effect of violating the dignity of another person, B, or creating an intimidating, hostile, degrading, humiliating, or offensive environment for the person, B. Now, there was a case that we looked at, and in the view of the tribunal, there was a connection between the word bald and protected characteristic of sex. since baldness was much more prevalent in men than in women, the remark was inherently related to sex. What are some of the characteristics? We can talk about disability, we can talk about the person's race, age, sex, and all the other bits. Lawyer said there are 9 of them. Now, think about this and all that because I'll be asking you a question. But in the meantime, I am open to your questions, your concerns. You can put them in the comment section down below on Facebook at BWF Solicitors, at BWTV, on YouTube at BWF Solicitors, and at BWTV. Or you can call us on the telephone line 0208 493 7345. 0208 493 7345. We have a very special person watching us from Accra, Jennifer of Jenny Beats. Thank you very much, you and the people in your class. Thank you for gathering around TV and watching us. We see your notification. Thank you so very much. Well, Lawyer, we have the questions coming through. Can a visitor get a document when he gets a child in the UK if the child has an indefinite leave to remain? I think the query is asking if you are a visitor and can a child who has indefinite leave in the UK give you a document to support your application?
Thank you very much, Ikuya, for your question. Ikuya, I will refer you to Section 117D of the Nationality, Immigration and Asylum Act 2002. That law says that there is a qualifying child if the child has British citizenship, the child has indefinite leave to remain, the child has pre-settled status or settled status, or the child has lived in the UK for 7 years, whether born in the UK or brought from abroad to live in the UK. Now, so if your child has indefinite leave to remain, then we say, especially if the child has also been living in the UK for 7 years, your child may be a qualifying child. And on that basis, we can apply. But if your child has indefinite leave to remain, obviously we need context from there. I don't know whether the child had the indefinite through EU route or had indefinite leave to remain, having been given leave to remain and later was granted, or the child was already 7 years and applied for indefinite leave to remain. If the child was 7 years and applied for indefinite leave to remain, which is the only way around indefinite for children, then the child is already a qualifying child. So what I would say is that from what you've told me, even though I haven't asked much about the context, I should say that you already have 50% success. And if you are to come and we ask you more questions and you're able to clarify it further, that will build more percentages to your successes. And you should be home and dry if you are dependent on this child to apply for leave to remain as a parent of a qualifying child. However, your visa should have expired. If it is not expired, it will be difficult to get a visa as a parent.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Laura. We have a friend on the line. Let's get to the line 0208 493 7345. Hello.
Hi. Good evening, President. Good evening, Charles.
Good evening.
Thank you for the program. I'm gonna go straight to the question so people can also come in.
Yes, please go ahead.
My question is, so if someone is on the partner route and that person is on the 5-year route, and maybe due to the situation, the person applied for fee waiver, would that change her route to, for instance, to a 10-year route?
Okay.
Yes.
There's a question about the 10-year route and the 5-year route.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it used to be the case that, oh, hello, my brother, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. So your question goes to, or you are asking this question not for yourself, but for many others, because a lot of people are in that.
Yeah.
conundrum. Now, it used to be the case that if you apply for indefinite for fee waiver, you are going to be put on the 10-year route automatically because you have now told them that you can't afford. However, there was a policy direction that people going on the fee waiver should not necessarily be downgraded, and therefore it becomes a context situation and a case by case analysis of that matter. So if you are making an application, you have to then include in there that on the basis of that, even though you are applying for a fee waiver, you should not necessarily be downgraded from 5-year route to 10-year route, because the 5-year route do not apply to people who are whose applications are considered under exceptional circumstances. Exceptional circumstances means that you do not meet all the criteria, including the finance. But having been on the fee waiver doesn't mean that you should be downgraded and punished unduly. So it's a case by case, and you have to put in your application and request that positive discretion should be made and still be allowed to stay on the 5-year route.
Right. Thank you, Laura. And just a subsequent question to that. And if such a person is applying for the fee waiver, they have fee waiver that comes with a partner and that specified benefits. And if the person doesn't fall within those benefits, would the next one be under the human rights application within the fee waiver section?
If it's a benefit, what do you mean?
The first one gives you an option like, under the partner or spousal route, but that person should also have some specified benefits to qualify you within that route.
Right. So
The
the fee
next one
waiver,
comes under human rights or discretionary leave and that kind of stuff. What would be the option for such a person?
right? Fee waiver applications are only necessary for human rights applications. If I say human rights, family life application, private life application, um, specific discretionary application on the basis that if you are if you are removed from the UK, your life will be in danger. So those are the options for those people. And because you cannot afford the fee, you have to be considered for fee waiver. Or you may be able to afford, but if you were to pay for it, children in that household will be put at risk in terms of their essential living needs. In this case, you have to be considered for fee waiver. Or if you pay, your remaining income cannot afford your essential living needs. These are the criteria for fee waiver consideration: destitution, imminent destitution, or cannot afford. If it is one of these, then fee waiver will be considered, and it should also be a human rights application.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you
Yes,
so
my
much.
brother, thank you very much for your time. Yes, you can also call in if you want to 0208-493-7345. We have questions on the platform, as I said. You can put them in the comment section down below, both on Facebook and YouTube. From YouTube, Anne Marie says, "You have indefinite leave, and I went to prison and detention center. I'm on bail now, signing on. Can I get married?"
I mean, the fact that you are an ex-convict doesn't mean you don't have feeling for marriage, so you can marry. There's no law says that if you've been convicted ever, you cannot marry. So please go ahead and find love.
Enjoy yourself as well. 0208-493-7345. Hello. If not possible for me to pass the English test,
What should
Robert,
I do?
I don't understand your question. There might be an initial one, probably, but you're talking about passing the English language test. If I've been failing severally, lawyer, what should I do?
Well, and remember I said that the only exemption for those people is if you are failing because you have learning disability, then it has to be proven. So you have to go through learning disability assessment. If the assessor is able to write a report that Because of this, it might be that yours is on one of the spectrum of disabilities for learners or for learning. Then could be Asperger's, could be this, could be that. If that is affecting your ability to sit and pass exam, then that should be considered, and your GP will then use that to prepare a report and do the medical certification so that it can be exempted from the English language and life in the UK.
Okay. Yes, keep them coming through on the platforms and by text and or on the lines. I did my UKVR account using my passport. When I was doing the e-visa, I used the BRP. I was to change the document I used for the UKVR account, but I'm not able to change it. I need help. Can you please support, please?
Right. If you need help, please come to our office or go to any other office that may be able to offer help. We cannot assist on the phone, on the platform or remotely because it has to be physical exercise. So, Sister Equia Efriye, you can go to Citizens Advice Bureau, they can help, or you can go to a nearby law firm, or if you know anybody who can assist, speak to them. You can also come to BWF Solicitors and we'll look at what the problem is.
BWF Solicitors is on the fourth floor of the other house on the Tottenham High Road, 214218. The postcode is N54NP. Now, if you go by public transport, get onto the Victoria line, get off at Seven Sisters, use exit number 2. Now, when you come out of exit number 2, the building right in front of you is the Anna House. Climb up to the fourth floor. They are there Monday to Friday between 9:30 in the morning and 6 p.m. They will help you. Or you can call and get further directions 0208 493 7340. Right. We're still taking your comments, we're still taking your concerns and questions. I have requested for school letter from my child's secondary school to support my application as a parent of a British child. The registrar says he can only write that the child attends school, give the name, date of birth, and address. He cannot write my name in the letter as a parent or next of kin, as emergency contact person with the school. I receive their email every day. I attend parents' meeting, signed a lot of consents for school trips, received a lot of letters from them. Can I have call records and emails with us? I have call, that is what he says. I have call records and emails with the school. What I'm asking is, can I use their emails, letters, consents, and all call records as evidence of parental role? What can I do? Do they have the right to refuse to disclose all the information? What should I tell them?
All right. I mean, all the person want is something to prove the role they play in their child's life. If the school is not forthcoming, they can get from the GP. So they have a choice.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if the GP
But
is also
I
not.
think his other bit is, if the school is saying that, okay, we're not going to give you those, but I have evidence that I play a big role in the child's life, can I use those details together rather than just a letter from them?
Right. You can, but we don't know what the caseworker will say about it.
Okay.
So the fact that you can doesn't mean that it may be accepted. So much as I would say yes, you can. I'm not saying that it will work. But what you
Well,
can also do is, if you need it desperately for your application, the lawyer applying or doing the application for you can make the request to the school to confirm XYZ, which will include the fact that your name is there as the child's parent or the child's next of kin or the child emergency contact. And because the lawyer is making the request under data protection rules or subject access request procedures, with your permission, they will have to respond to the request by the lawyer on your behalf. So you still have a way of doing the same thing. But if you think that it is too long a process and there's little you can do about it, and so can you use what you have? Of course, we can always do what we want, but what the outcome will be is what I'm not sure about. So you have a lot of options to consider.
a lot of options to consider. One of the very likely things you can do when you're faced with any legal conundrum is to talk to BWF solicitors or join us on this program and bring it up here. They're happy to help you. Let's pick up your bets. In the meantime, you can call 0208 493 7345. I came to the UK about a week ago, lawyer, with EU family entry clearance visa, but I want to change my surname before applying for my EU settlement scheme. Please, can I change my surname via deed poll before applying for the EU settlement scheme? I hold a Ghanaian passport.
Yes, it is possible.
Okay. So that deed poll, how do I go about it?
We do deed poll at BWF solicitors. You can
Okay.
also do it online, or you can do it from any other credible source.
Okay. All right. Next, we have. I'd like to ask if your partner is under the 5-year route from Ghana plus 3 children, and you, upon their renewal, if they apply for a fee waiver, will that put them under the 10-year route because they did not meet the financial requirements for their? I think this is the person that called earlier on, is it?
I'm not sure if it's the person who called earlier on, but if it is the person who called earlier on, then now that we have the written question, we can interpret the wording of the question and give a response. Now, when you come to the UK as a spouse of a British citizen or somebody with indefinite leave to remain, you met the requirement, and it's always under the 5-year route. The requirement include financial requirement. So if you came and you were able to prove 18,600, then you have to continue when you are renewing to prove 18,600 between yourself and your spouse or one of them. If yours was on the basis of 29,000 from April, then you have to prove 29,000 when you are renewing. And so this will not apply to this person that they are going for fee waiver. So if the fee waiver question is about this, then the answer is no. You cannot change your mind and say that I now want a fee waiver to renew my application, having come from abroad, meeting the requirements.
Well, thank you very much, lawyer. There are a few more questions, yes. Let's pick them up. I still have the lines active so you can come in. Man and a woman had 1 month relationship that resulted in a child's birth. They never married or lived together. Each one married another person and continued their lives separately. They raised their child up 18 years while each was married to another person. Now, if the man is filing an application and they ask about previous partners, is the baby mama ex-partner to the man based on the definition of partner under Appendix FL? They only had, what he says means that they only had a child. They had a child, Keke.
Yeah, if you had a child keke, then it was just keke. If it is keke, then you don't have to worry about being a partner, and therefore you are just a parent. So the question is clear. Have you previously been married? No.
No.
The first question would have been, what is your relationship? So you say single because you've never been married.
Okay.
The next question, have you previously been married? You say no because this baby mama was never your spouse. And you move on. That's it, because it was just child keke.
So the child Keke is Keke. So you don't have to worry about an HIV. Well, let's keep it going. Remember, we will be looking at our nugget again, and I'll bring you the scenario question. What's the difference between swearing an oath and affirmation during citizenship ceremony? Those whose faith doesn't permit them to swear at all, which one is best? Those who don't believe in any deity, which one is best? Why did they make 2 forms, oath or affirmation?
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is
It's a difficult question.
no, it's
Why I
not
wouldn't
difficult.
know.
In legal legal studies, we call this would have been jurisprudence, legal theory. Why would they ask me to swear an oath if I just want my paper keke? But then it's a rule. It's a rule. So all they are saying is that what is your faith? And your faith will determine what you will do. So if you believe in God and you are a believer of Jesus Christ and the Bible, then you may be asked to swear an oath using the Bible. If you are not, you'll be asked to affirm that you are a truthful person and therefore you will be a responsible citizen of Great Britain. Why do they do it? Is because you want something from them.
Okay. Now, a lawyer, following up on this one, for instance, I hold, say, a Ghanaian passport. I have indefinite leave to remain. I've applied for citizenship and they've given it to me. I have an emergency and I have to travel just days after the ceremony. I've applied for a passport, it hasn't come through. Can I travel with my Ghana passport, for instance, and come back later on to pick up my British passport?
Um, okay, now let's work backwards, okay?
Okay.
Somebody who has been able to apply for naturalization and had the certificate issued after ceremony would also have indefinite leave to remain, right?
Yes.
So the person has settled status or indefinite somehow. Now, nobody knows that you have become British, right? Because you have attended the ceremony, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are traveling, the immigration officer wants to know that you have the right to be in the UK and therefore you can return, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you travel to your country and you are coming, they ask you what's your business there. And you tell them I'm a settled person. This is my visa, which is indefinite. When they allow you to come back,
Definitely. Well, yeah.
that could be the way out.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, they have to wait and get what
And
they
get their
want.
passport, the British
Yeah.
passport, and go with it. All right. Yes. Yeah. Let's keep it going. I remember we dealt with the topic how to get your e-visa if your indefinite leave to remain was stamped in your passport. Good evening once again. I've been hearing from my colleagues that they use their BRP for their e-visa, which I don't understand them because the card itself is expiring on 31st December this year. Can they use their BRP card to log on their into their e-visa account since they will expire?
All right.
And he continues to say, I'm thinking they should have used the passport details rather.
Okay. So I think the question has been answered, and therefore I'm not going to add much. But all I'm saying is that the response is what is given. The rules are that, okay, the rules are that you apply, you create the account. But if you have the biometric, if you have, okay, when you start, they will ask you, are you going to do it with passport or you are going to do it with a card? So usually you select the BRP card. Then you scan both sides of the card, you scan your face, account is created, you complete the form. Then you can also link your passport because your passport will then be able to be linked to the card. Remember, the passport is the travel document and the card is the visa. Once the two are linked, you are able to be identified when you are traveling that you hold this.
Okay. Right. I think we can pick up one before we take our quiz and go back to what you think. Please, those applying on 10-year parent route, are they exempt from English language requirements? What makes them exempted? What exceptions apply? Jay, I don't know what you're trying
So
to.
those applying on a 10-year route, are they exempt from it? Oh, yeah. If you're applying on a 10-year route, you don't need to show English language
Okay.
because the reason for 10-year route is that you don't meet the rules, including English language requirement. And
Okay.
so you are punished for that by being placed on the long period of waiting before you get your indefinite.
Mhm.
And the question is, what make them exempted? Because they do not, and they fall under EX1 of the immigration rules. What exceptions apply? Well, usually, if the only exception is that sometimes people, there's one application they came back to ask, has this person, that this person did not provide the English language, and therefore they have to provide. So I wrote to them to say that the person applied on a 10-year route and the person applied because they did not meet all the rules and EX1 applies. So they have to check and come back. If they want to sway the person to 5-year route, the person will be willing to give you the English language, blah, blah, blah. But I haven't received the response yet to that answer I gave them. But if it's 10-year route, you don't have to show financial requirement and you don't have to show English language. because you are on the discretionary route or the
Okay.
exceptional circumstance route.
Right. So, folks, you can still keep your questions coming through. Put them in the comment section down below, or send them to us as text or WhatsApp 07399 208 468 07399 208 468, and we'll pass those questions and comments on to the lawyers at BWF Solicitors for them to help you out. But in the meantime, we talked about the this thing. I was going to refer to myself, but I won't do that. The Employment Tribunal says that an insult concerning a colleague's baldness could be considered harassment relating to sex. Under Section 26(1) EQA, harassment related to sex occurs where person A engages in unwanted conduct related to sex, and that conduct has the purpose or effect of violating the dignity of another person B, or creating an intimidating, hostile, degrading, humiliating, or offensive environment for person B. In the tribunal's view, there was a connection between the word bald and the protected characteristic of sex. Since baldness was much more prevalent in men than in women, the remark was inherently related to sex. So let me ask you this question. Akun Ketenkete works in a restaurant with Kofi Bule, a bald head chef. Aku kept calling Kofi Sakura Kose, meaning you're bald, you don't have hair on your head. Kofi took offense and reported the matter to their manager, who did nothing about it. Kofi brought an action for sexual harassment against the restaurant. The question is, will Kofi succeed? I have three options for you to consider. Yes, because it is an insult to call someone bald. 2, no, because insults are not sexual harassment. Or 3, yes, because it is mainly males who experience baldness, and it is therefore a sexual characteristic. So Aku Ketenkete, I don't know, for whatever reason, was teasing the chef, bald head chef, Kofibule, Sakura Kose. He took offense and reported the matter to their manager, who did nothing about it. Kofi wasn't satisfied, so he brought action against the restaurant for sexual harassment. The three options are there. I'm taking a break. When we come back, I will take your answers and then ask lawyer which one of the three is correct. The community and the law, brought to you by BWF Solicitors.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contestant and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Okay. So, Akuyan Kitinkiti works in a restaurant with Kofi Bule, about the head chef, has put the organization in a situation where Kofi Bule has brought an action against them for sexual harassment. Will it succeed? Yes. No. Yes. First, yes says because it's an insult to call someone bold. No, because insults are not sexual harassment. Yes, because it is mainly males who experience baldness and it is therefore a sexual characteristic. Let's see your answers. Charles Emery says number 3. Charles, thank you. Yes, because it's mainly males. Clement Ahimsa Bonzikwe, number 2. Okay. Let's see who else. Ivy Boateng, the answer is 2 because it's a general insult. Thank you, Ivy. Echapong, it's an insult, not sexual harassment. So it's number 2. Okay? So he won't succeed. That's what you mean. As the Usuya says, it won't succeed because insults are not sexual harassment. Yvonne Asante says, yes, because it's an insult to call someone bald. No comment. Aaron Enin, number 3. Yes, because it's mainly males who experience baldness and it's therefore a sexual characteristic. Thank you. Next one, Bright Sapon, number 3. Let's see who else has anything. Priscilla Kwachi says number 3. Koyado on YouTube, you say it's number 2. Okay, thank you, Koyo. Kevin Asamoah, the answer is 3. Yes, because it is mainly males who experience baldness and is therefore a sexual characteristic. Yeah, the 3 answers. Will Kofi succeed? Lawyer.
Right. So there are 2 authorities on this. The first authority is Section 26(1) of the Equality Act of 2010.
Okay.
Now, Part A of that law says that Equia has said something against Kofi, and what Equia said has offended Kofi, and Kofi has felt intimidated and disgraced. And the second part to that test is the B part says that before Kofi can prove a case against Equia, Kofi must show that Kofi is within one of the protected characteristics, and Equia's reference of that conduct is to Kofi's characteristic, which is classified in the law. And one of them is sex, male or female. So the question is, if whatever Equia said to Kofi has to do with Kofi's sex, then Kofi will win a case against Equia. Now, the second authority is the case of British Bank Manufacturing Limited versus AFIN. And this is a 2023 case, Employment Tribunal. The same scenario where one used somebody's baldness to refer to the person, and it went to court, and the judge has to decide or determine whether baldness is to do with any sex, male or female. And the judge concluded that because only men experience or go through that health condition of baldness, Equia cannot be talking about anybody except Kofi. And so Kofi felt, and therefore Equia's behavior breaches Section 26(1) of Equality Act. And so there's sexual harassment, but because the conduct goes to the core, which is the sexual characteristic of Kofi. And so on this basis, the answer will be 3. Kofi can bring action against Equia.
And would it really would he get compensation maybe? if it will,
So
it will succeed.
so when the matter goes to court for employment purposes, I mean, an employment tribunal, the rules are that under um, the the 1996 Employment Rights Act,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's within, remember, they are co-workers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it happened within, but then there is context of the equality, and that's why you can see some aspect of Equality Act 2010 are brought into the 1996 Act, Employment Rights Act. Will Kofi win any or have any compensation? The first one is for the court to make a determination that there's sexual harassment against Kofi, and the second one is for the court to make such declaration that as a result of this, there is sexual harassment against him. Kofi's remedy will be that the court will have to make a declaration for compensation for him for what Equia did. How much compensation will be a matter for calculation and determination by the court. And you know also that now, even though Equia did this, because this happened within the employment setting, the employer may be vicariously liable for the sexual harassment conduct of Equia against Kofi. And so Kofi can say, I'm taking X from Equia, but I also want the employer to compensate me for watching on for Equia to behave as such. Remember, the employer did nothing when Kofi complained against Equia's behavior. So the
Yeah.
employer will be liable as well, vicariously.
Well, so as Lawyer said, the answer to this week's test is number 3. Kevin said, I said it. It is number 3. Yes, you did. The action of Aku amounted to harassment relating to sex, as the conduct was unwanted. Aku, in saying those words, Sakura Kose, meaning bold, was effectively to violate Kofi's dignity and create an intimidating, hostile environment for him. The courts have found that there was a connection between the word bold and the protected characteristics of sex. Since baldness was much more prevalent in men than in women, the remark was inherently related to sex, as our Nugget said. So, employers should take steps to ensure a working culture in which discrimination and harassment of any kind are not tolerated. Well, Lawyer, with that, I think we come to our traditional closing summary that you guys do for us before we draw the curtains down.
Thank you very much. Before we wrap up, let me chip in. And this has nothing to do with the topic for today, but very necessary because it's a message we received where somebody's visit visa application has been refused because the person deposited money into account that was used for the application. And the caseworker concluded that it appears that the money was put in here for visa, and therefore you may not be a genuine visitor after all. So please, let's be careful, viewers and listeners. When you want to apply for visitor's visa, because it's easy for the caseworker to refuse you, you have to make it difficult for the caseworker. And how do you show it? The financial requirements are that one, whatever funds you have in the account can be traced to the source, and it can also be proven as to the purpose of the funds. So you should be able to show that this money is for this and it is coming from this place. You explain in your application, even if you are not adding a cover letter, there is a box at the end which says that additional information. You can explain all these things there. But just leaving the money in there so that you can apply for the visa is tantamount to getting a refusal. So be careful when you are building your account for visa purpose. Otherwise, they will tell you that this money is dumped into the account or deposited into the account because you want to apply to enter the UK. And we think because of your intention, you may not return. So this is a gist we want to bring or inform the public about because it is a live message we have received and we will continue to educate the public about genuine visitor requirement within appendix visitor to the immigration rules. So, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and listeners, today we looked at those who have indefinite leave to remain in their passport and how they can get around e-visa. We have concluded that because e-visa is now happening, and by 1st of January, everybody should have enrolled on the e-visa platform. Unless the government decide to extend the time, it will be from 1st of January. And from October, the government has said that no more application to replace an indefinite leave to remain stamp in a passport. And so those who still have stamps in their passport in the form of indefinite leave to remain are caught between not able to apply to get a card and not also being able to create an e-visa account to enroll their biometric because they have never had a biometric enrollment done. For such people, the option will be to apply for naturalization so that you can be granted nationality status in the UK, based on which you can apply for a passport to be able to travel. Otherwise, things will be little hard for you. If you travel outside the UK with that and you are returning after January, it will be very difficult because at that time the rules might have been tightened and it may be difficult for the immigration officers at those borders to allow you entry. In case of further help, do not hesitate to knock on our doors for more support. Thank you. Have a pleasant weekend.
And thank you very much, Lawyer Charles Asma, for your time, the share of experience and knowledge, and of course, your patience to answer all the questions we threw your way. And to BWF solicitors, we owe you tons of gratitude because you always open your doors for us to be able to one, enhance ourselves and also to get all the answers to the questions we bring. And you serve us well. No wonder people are recommending you left, right, and center. So to everybody at BWF Solicitors, we say thank you. And to corporate BWF Solicitors, we say thank you very much. To my viewers, listeners, and people who follow us on social media and all our platforms, thank you. I salute you so much. Without you, we can't have any successful program like we have had today. To my producer, Professor Dave, for your ability to run the show so very well and produce it so very kindly and well. To Shilankra and Patwa Dodu for the admin and the aesthetics. And to everybody, I want to say, please come back and let's do it again, same time next week. My name is Owusu Frimpong. Good evening.